The Draconian Empire was a name that sent fear through the hearts of civilizations across the galaxy. Their fleets were vast, their ships gigantic, and their warriors fierce. For centuries, they had swept through the stars, conquering world after world, enslaving entire species without a second thought. No one dared to stand against them. Their technology was unmatched, their strategies flawless. The Draconians believed themselves to be the rulers of the galaxy, and they made sure everyone else knew it. But now, their sights were set on Earth. Earth had long been seen as a small, insignificant planet, isolated in the farthest reaches of the galaxy. Humanity, in the grand scheme of things, had little to offer. They were technologically behind, just beginning to explore their own solar system, with no real way to defend themselves against the mighty Draconian fleet. Yet, Earth had something no one else could predict: the stubbornness and unyielding will of its people. The Draconians, sensing an easy victory, decided to make their move. Their fleet, consisting of dozens of massive warships, entered Earth's atmosphere with an almost terrifying silence. They moved through the stars like a shadow, their ships designed for speed and power. No one knew they were coming until it was almost too late. On Earth, humanity was in a state of preparation. While they were aware of the threat from the Draconians, no one truly understood the magnitude of what they were about to face. World leaders held urgent meetings, trying to come up with a plan. But it was clear that humanity was not ready. The Earth had no weapons that could match the Draconians' advanced technology, no fleet to stand against the invaders. The people of Earth could only watch in helpless awe as the Draconian warships moved ever closer. The Draconians wasted no time. Their initial assault was swift and brutal. Cities across the globe were hit by powerful energy blasts that wiped out entire regions in seconds. Humanity scrambled, trying to organize a defense, but it was like fighting against a storm with nothing but fists. The Draconian ships hovered above Earth, their weapons scanning for any signs of resistance, ready to destroy everything in their path. However, as the battle raged on, something strange began to happen. Despite the overwhelming power of the Draconian fleet, the people of Earth refused to back down. It wasn't much, but there was something in the way they fought, something unexplainable. There was a fire in their hearts, a determination that seemed to come from nowhere. Soldiers, scientists, engineers, and even civilians banded together to find a way to fight back, even if it seemed hopeless. They worked in secret, trying to create anything that might give them a chance, a weapon or device that could turn the tide. Some of the most brilliant minds on Earth, scientists who had long studied the stars, began to notice something odd. The energy signatures from the Draconian ships were behaving in ways they had never seen before. There was a strange fluctuation in the energy fields surrounding Earth, something that seemed to interfere with the Draconians' advanced technology. At first, it was a small anomaly, barely noticeable. But as time passed, it became clear that Earth itself was fighting back in its own way. Meanwhile, in the heart of the Draconian fleet, the commanders of the invasion began to grow concerned. Their advanced systems were designed to predict every possible outcome, but nothing had prepared them for this planet. The energy fields around Earth were unlike anything they had encountered. At first, they thought it was a malfunction in their systems, but as the hours passed, it became undeniable. Earth was doing something to their fleet. The Draconian warlords ordered their ships to concentrate all firepower on Earth's major cities, hoping to crush humanity's spirit. But no matter how much destruction they'd unleashed, something kept Earth's defenses alive. It wasn't just technology. There was a strange sense of resilience in humanity, a force that no one could quite explain. The Draconian fleet, despite its overwhelming power, began to slow down. Something was wrong, but they couldn't figure out what it was. As the hours turned into days, a realization began to settle over the invaders. Earth was not like the other planets they had conquered. There was something unique about this world, something worth investigating. And so, the Draconians began to hesitate, their confidence starting to crack. It was an unusual feeling for them, something they were not used to. A sense of uncertainty spread through their ranks. Were they facing their first true challenge? Or was there something even more dangerous about Earth than they had imagined? At that moment, humanity's chance for survival rested on one thing: the mystery of Earth itself. As the days passed, something strange began to happen. The once powerful Draconian fleet, which had been so sure of its victory, was slowly losing its grip on Earth. The energy readings from their ships became increasingly erratic, and their weapons systems failed to respond as expected. What had begun as a brutal and seemingly unstoppable invasion was now turning into a confusing, unsettling situation for the Draconians. On Earth, scientists were the first to notice the sudden changes. Instruments that had been tracking the Draconian ships' movements began to show odd readings. The warships, which had previously been positioned perfectly above Earth's major cities, now appeared to be vanishing. One by one, the ships disappeared from the radar. At first, it was dismissed as a technical malfunction, but the anomaly grew. The ships were no longer visible, no longer detectable by any of Earth's monitoring systems. The world's leaders, who had been anxiously watching the skies and preparing for the next wave of destruction, were thrown into confusion. News stations around the globe were flooded with reports of the strange occurrence. One moment, the skies above Earth were filled with the massive warships of the Draconian fleet, and the next, they were gone. Entire regions of the world, once in the line of fire, were now eerily silent. At the United Nations, the world's top experts gathered in an emergency meeting. They pored over the data, trying to make sense of what had happened. There was no explosion, no sign of battle. The ships simply vanished without a trace. How could this happen? How could a fleet of such size and power just disappear in the blink of an eye? Some of the scientists suggested that it could have been a kind of cloaking device, something so advanced that even the most sophisticated sensors on Earth couldn't detect it. But even this explanation seemed unlikely. The Draconians were known for their advanced technology, but they had never demonstrated the ability to hide their entire fleet in such a way. It wasn't just their ships that were missing. Their communications had gone completely silent as well. The galaxy's most feared invaders had simply vanished. Meanwhile, the Draconian High Command was in a state of panic. The fleet's commanders had never experienced anything like this before. Their ships were equipped with the most powerful weapons and shields in the galaxy, and they had never encountered any obstacle that could block their way. Until now. Their best engineers worked around the clock, trying to understand what was happening. But despite their best efforts, they found nothing. There were no signs of malfunction, no damage, no enemies to blame. The ships were still in orbit around Earth, yet they couldn't be seen or detected by their own systems. In the quiet of space, with no answer to their growing confusion, the Draconians did what they feared most. They retreated. Their warlords, once so certain of victory, ordered the fleet to withdraw. They had no choice. Despite their overwhelming strength, they were powerless to explain the disappearance, and without knowing what had caused it, they couldn't risk staying any longer. The Draconian fleet slowly turned around, its massive ships retreating back into the vastness of space, leaving Earth behind. On Earth, the news of the fleet's sudden disappearance spread quickly. Scientists and military leaders alike were left stunned, struggling to understand what had just happened. Some believed it to be a miracle, an act of divine intervention, perhaps, or a strange, unknown force that had protected the planet. Others wondered if humanity's efforts to fight back, though small, had somehow caused the Draconians to rethink their invasion. The truth, however, remained elusive. As days turned into weeks, no further attacks came from the Draconians. Their fleet was gone, and no one could explain why. The world was left in a state of stunned silence, with many still unable to believe that such a mighty force could simply vanish. The once feared invaders were now nothing more than a memory. A strange, unsettling story passed down through the people who had witnessed their arrival and sudden disappearance. But as the mystery deepened, so too did the questions. Where had the Draconian fleet gone? Had they been destroyed? Or was there something else at play? Something even more mysterious than anyone could imagine. The galaxy was now watching Earth more closely than ever before, wondering if the disappearance of the Draconian fleet held a deeper secret. And somewhere, hidden beneath the surface of Earth, ancient forces were stirring. Forces that had long been forgotten, waiting for the right moment to reveal themselves. As the days turned into weeks, and the Draconian fleet remained mysteriously absent from Earth's skies, the world was left with more questions than answers. People everywhere tried to make sense of the event, wondering if Earth had somehow been protected by a force beyond their understanding. Many speculated that humanity's sheer will to survive had played a part. But as scientists and researchers dug deeper into the mystery, something incredible began to emerge. It started with a series of strange discoveries beneath the Earth's surface. For years, scientists had been investigating anomalies in the planet's geology, odd energy readings that had no clear explanation. But after the disappearance of the Draconian fleet, these strange readings became much more pronounced. The anomalies were not random. They were patterns, like some kind of code buried deep within the Earth itself. A team of top scientists, led by Dr. Claire Hawthorne, one of the world's most renowned physicists, was the first to take a closer look. Dr. Hawthorne had always been fascinated by the mysteries of the planet, and her team had been studying energy fluctuations for years. But now, after the fleet's sudden disappearance, it seemed that the data they had gathered was finally making sense. What they discovered sent shockwaves through the scientific community. Hidden beneath the Earth's surface, deep within the crust, they found evidence of a massive, ancient structure. It was unlike anything they had ever encountered, an enormous network of interconnected energy systems that seemed to pulse with power. The energy readings were off the charts, far beyond anything humanity had ever created. But what made this discovery even more remarkable was its age. The structure was clearly ancient, predating even the earliest known civilizations. The team worked tirelessly to investigate further, carefully excavating the site and analyzing the structure's materials. They soon discovered that the technology embedded in the Earth's core was far beyond anything the Draconians, or any known civilization, had ever developed. It was clear that this was not a natural formation. Someone, or something, had built it long before humanity existed. The implications of this discovery were enormous. How had such advanced technology remained hidden for so long? Why had no one noticed it before? And most importantly, could this technology be the key to understanding what had happened to the Draconian fleet? As the scientists delved deeper, they began to uncover more secrets. The ancient structure wasn't just a source of power, it was a kind of defensive system. There were traces of energy fields, long dormant, that seemed to interfere with any advanced technology that came too close. It was like a protective shield, one that could disrupt the systems of any ship or spacecraft that attempted to enter Earth's atmosphere. Dr. Hawthorne and her team realized that this hidden force could explain the strange disappearance of the Draconian fleet. The energy fields surrounding Earth had somehow interacted with the Draconian ship's technology, causing their systems to malfunction and disappear. The fleet had been caught in a kind of energy web, one that prevented their ships from functioning properly. This was not a weapon that had been created by humanity. It was an ancient force, hidden deep within the Earth, that had unknowingly protected the planet from the Draconian threat. But as amazing as this discovery was, it raised even more questions. If this technology had been buried beneath the Earth for so long, why had it remained dormant? What kind of civilization had created it, and why had they left it behind? Was there a purpose to its existence, or was it just a relic of an ancient past? As the world began to learn more about the discovery, the question on everyone's mind was clear. Could humanity unlock the full potential of this ancient technology? Could they harness its power to defend Earth from future threats? And more importantly, could they use it to change the course of their own future? The news spread quickly, and Earth's leaders scrambled to understand the implications of what had been uncovered. Military officials, scientists, and political leaders all agreed on one thing. Humanity could no longer be seen as weak or defenseless. They now had a secret weapon, a hidden force that could not only protect them, but could also potentially make them a dominant power in the galaxy. But as the global excitement grew, so did the uncertainty. The Draconians had retreated for now, but what if they returned? What if other alien species, who had been watching Earth's survival, decided to investigate further? Earth had become a focal point for the galaxy's attention, and no one knew what might happen next. The truth was, humanity had only just begun to understand the power hidden within their own planet. The ancient structure, with its mysterious energy fields, was still largely unexplored. But one thing was clear: Earth was no longer the defenseless, small world it had once been. It was now a planet with a secret that could change the balance of power in the galaxy forever. The world was still in shock after the Draconian fleet had mysteriously vanished, but humanity had more pressing questions to answer. While the scientists worked tirelessly to unlock the secrets of the ancient technology beneath the Earth's surface, the Draconian Empire was scrambling to make sense of their sudden and baffling loss. The galaxy's most feared invaders had never experienced anything like this before. They had thought Earth would be an easy conquest, but now they found themselves defeated without even understanding how or why. Back in the heart of the Draconian Empire, the High Command convened in an emergency meeting. They had sent dozens of warships to Earth, fully expecting to crush the planet in a matter of days. But now, their entire fleet had vanished, leaving only confusion and a growing sense of fear. The Draconians were an empire built on strength, and they prided themselves on their ability to predict and control any situation. But Earth had thrown them into chaos. The fleet's commanders were the first to speak. "Our ships are gone," one of them said, his voice filled with frustration. "We tried to detect what happened, but all our systems failed. It was as if Earth itself reached out and swallowed us whole." A murmur of disbelief ran through the room. "Impossible," another commander replied. "There's no known force in the galaxy that could cause our technology to fail. We are the most powerful empire in existence. How could we have been defeated by a primitive planet?" For days, the Draconians sent out scouts and search parties to investigate the disappearance. They combed through the area around Earth, looking for any trace of their lost fleet. But there was nothing. The ships had vanished completely, without a single piece of wreckage or clue left behind. No debris, no energy signatures, no traces of any kind. It was as if the ships had simply been erased from existence. In the weeks that followed, the Draconian Empire began to piece together what had happened. Their engineers, some of the best in the galaxy, worked around the clock, studying the data from the failed invasion. The only thing that seemed clear was that something about Earth had interfered with their technology. But what? What could have caused such a powerful fleet to disappear without a trace? It wasn't until a senior Draconian scientist made a groundbreaking discovery that the pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place. "We've been looking in the wrong direction," the scientist said during a meeting with the High Command. "We assumed that Earth was simply too weak to fight back. But what if it wasn't the planet itself that defeated us? What if it was something hidden beneath the surface, something we never expected?" The High Command listened carefully as the scientist continued. "We've discovered unusual energy readings coming from beneath the Earth's crust. These readings match no known patterns. If we could track them, we might be able to understand what happened to our fleet. But we have to be careful. If Earth is indeed hiding something powerful, it may be far more advanced than we ever realized." The news of this discovery sent shockwaves through the Draconian leadership. Earth, once dismissed as a primitive planet, now appeared to be hiding a secret that even the mightiest empire in the galaxy couldn't comprehend. The Draconians had long believed that their power was absolute, but now they were faced with a planet that seemed to possess a hidden force capable of undoing their most advanced technology. While the Draconian High Command worked to study the mysterious energy patterns, they also began to realize something even more troubling. Earth had shown no signs of weakness. Despite being far behind the Draconians in technology, humanity had fought with an unexpected resilience. The Draconians could not understand why the people of Earth had not surrendered. They had thrown everything at them, their most powerful weapons, their most advanced warships. But humanity had resisted every step of the way. The truth was, the Draconians had underestimated Earth. They had seen humanity as nothing more than an easy target, a species unworthy of attention. But now, they were realizing that Earth was more than just a primitive planet. It was a place of untapped potential, a place that could hold the key to an entirely new way of thinking about power, strength, and survival. Back on Earth, the news of the fleet's disappearance spread like wildfire. People could hardly believe what had happened. Earth had survived the most terrifying invasion in its history, not through military strength, but through sheer willpower and an ancient force hidden beneath the planet's surface. But as the days passed, many began to wonder, was this the end of the Draconian threat? Or was it just the beginning of something even more dangerous? The world's leaders, though relieved, were also cautious. They knew that the Draconians would not give up easily. Even if their fleet had disappeared, the Draconians were still a powerful empire, one that could return at any time. Earth was now on the radar of every alien species in the galaxy. The disappearance of the Draconian fleet had sparked a new interest in the planet, and no one knew what might happen next. But one thing was certain: humanity had proved that it was not to be underestimated. The Earth had a power within it, a power that even the greatest empire in the galaxy had failed to comprehend. And as long as this power remained, Earth would never be an easy target again. As the weeks passed, Earth was still grappling with the shock of the Draconian fleet's sudden disappearance. Governments, scientists, and military leaders around the world tried to make sense of the strange events, but one thing was clear: Earth was no longer the same. The ancient technology hidden beneath the planet's surface had proven to be an unexpected safeguard, protecting humanity from a force that seemed unstoppable. Yet, despite this incredible discovery, there was still an overwhelming sense of uncertainty. Around the globe, people had started to wonder if the Draconians would ever return. The fear of another invasion lingered in the air, and many felt that Earth could never fully rest until the mystery of the fleet's disappearance was solved. The question that everyone was asking was the vanishing of the Draconian fleet a one-time event, or was it a sign of something much bigger at play? Dr. Claire Hawthorne, the scientist leading the team investigating the ancient structure, was increasingly focused on uncovering the full potential of the hidden technology. She knew that Earth had only scratched the surface of what this ancient energy could do. Every day, her team uncovered more pieces of the puzzle: blueprints, strange symbols, and unexpected energy flows, all pointing to the possibility that this technology was more than just a defense system. "I believe we're standing on the threshold of something extraordinary," Dr. Hawthorne said to her colleagues as they examined a newly uncovered chamber deep beneath the Earth's surface. "This isn't just about protecting Earth from invaders. This is about opening doors to a new future, one where humanity might be able to join the ranks of the galaxy's great civilizations." Her words were met with a mixture of awe and hesitation. While the discovery was incredible, there were still many unanswered questions. How could humanity unlock the true potential of the ancient technology? Would it be safe? And perhaps most importantly, what would happen if the Draconians returned before they were ready? The world's leaders, aware of the immense possibilities the hidden technology presented, held an emergency summit. They discussed how to move forward. Should they keep the discovery a secret, or should they share it with the rest of the world? The idea of opening up the ancient power to everyone was risky, but the potential for new advancements in energy, medicine, and technology was enormous. Earth's leaders agreed on one thing: the discovery could not remain a mystery for long. Humanity had to prepare for what could come next. As the summit concluded, an announcement was made to the global population. Earth was not helpless. Humanity now had access to an incredible resource hidden deep within the planet, one that could reshape the future. The news spread quickly, And for the first time in years, there was a sense of hope among Earth's people. The fear of the Draconians, though still present, was starting to fade, replaced by the possibility of a brighter future. Meanwhile, on the other side of the galaxy, the Draconian Empire was reeling from their loss. The mysterious energy that had caused their fleet to vanish was still beyond their understanding. Their engineers were working around the clock to find answers, but the more they studied, the less they understood. The energy seemed to be unlike anything they had encountered in their long history of conquest. The Draconian High Command was under pressure. They had underestimated Earth, and now they had paid the price. The once invincible fleet had vanished without a trace, and the planet they had hoped to conquer had shown an unexpected strength. The commanders in the Empire's War Council discussed what should be done next. "We cannot let Earth's unexpected power go unchecked," one of them declared. "If we do not understand the forces at play here, then we risk the entire Empire." Despite their fear and confusion, the Draconians were not a species to back down easily. They decided to send a small but highly skilled reconnaissance team to Earth, one that would blend in and gather intelligence without being detected. Their mission was clear: find out what caused the disappearance of the fleet, and determine if Earth truly held the secret to a power that could threaten the Draconian Empire. As they began their covert mission, the Draconians could not know that they were about to face an entirely new challenge. The people of Earth were no longer just passive observers of the galaxy. They were now a species with a powerful weapon hidden beneath their feet, and they were ready to defend their home at any cost. Back on Earth, the world had begun to shift. The discovery of the ancient energy system had sparked a new age of exploration and innovation. Scientists from all over the world were working together to study the technology, and the first breakthroughs were beginning to emerge. Clean, limitless energy was no longer a dream. It was a reality. With this newfound power, Earth's nations began to work together more closely than ever before. And yet, while the planet celebrated its new era of progress, the question still loomed. What would happen if the Draconians returned? They had underestimated humanity once before, but Earth was now a different place. The ancient forces buried beneath the surface were beginning to awaken, and with them, humanity's hope for a future where they could stand alongside the galaxy's great civilizations. While Earth continued to advance and grow stronger, the Draconians were far from ready to accept defeat. Their covert mission on Earth had begun, and their most skilled agents were now scattered across the planet. These agents were not soldiers, but experts in stealth, deception, and intelligence. They had been chosen for their ability to blend in and observe without being detected. Their goal was simple: to gather as much information as possible about the mysterious energy that had caused the disappearance of their fleet. The Draconians were used to seeing themselves as the galaxy's most advanced civilization. They prided themselves on their technology, their military might, and their ability to conquer worlds. The idea that a primitive planet like Earth could hold the key to something that could defeat them was unthinkable. But as the agents began their surveillance, they soon realized that Earth's power was more than just a mystery. It was something far greater than they could have imagined. The agents' first challenge was to get close to the scientists who were working on the ancient technology beneath Earth's surface. The Draconians had no interest in confronting humanity directly. They preferred to remain in the shadows, learning about the planet's new capabilities without tipping their hand. So they began to observe the teams of researchers, hoping to uncover something, anything, that might explain how Earth had developed such power. One of the Draconian agents, known only by the codename Elder, was stationed in a small city near a research facility, where scientists were studying the ancient structure. Elder was a master of disguise, able to mimic human behavior with startling accuracy. He had spent months gathering data from afar, but now it was time to get closer. Posing as a foreign researcher, Elder infiltrated the facility under the guise of helping to study the strange energy beneath the Earth's surface. As Elder spent more time at the facility, he began to understand just how much Earth's scientists had discovered. The energy was indeed unlike anything the Draconians had ever seen. It wasn't just a power source. It was a kind of network, an intelligence embedded in the planet itself. It was as if Earth had its own consciousness, a force that could react to threats and protect its people from harm. Elder was both amazed and terrified by what he learned. The ancient structure seemed to be more than just a defense system. It was an entire system designed to evolve and adapt. The more Elder learned, the more he realized how little the Draconians understood about what was happening on Earth. This was not a planet they could easily conquer. It was a planet that had the potential to challenge the very foundation of the galaxy's power. Meanwhile, back on Earth, the people had begun to notice strange things happening. There were reports of strange electrical phenomena, unusual weather patterns, and unexplained power surges in cities around the world. While some believed these occurrences were a sign of the planet's natural evolution, others were more cautious. They feared that the ancient energy beneath the Earth's surface was starting to react in ways they couldn't control. Dr. Claire Hawthorne, the scientist leading the research, was the first to notice the changes. She had been studying the ancient structure for months, and she had seen the power of the energy firsthand. But now, something was different. The energy seemed to be growing stronger, more focused, as if it were preparing for something. As the scientists continued their work, they began to realize that the ancient technology wasn't just a passive force. It was a living entity, one that could interact with the world around it. It was clear that Earth's hidden power was not something that could be contained. It was meant to grow, to evolve, and to protect the planet from threats both known and unknown. Dr. Hawthorne gathered a team of experts to study the changes, hoping to understand what was happening. "This isn't just an energy source," she said, her voice filled with excitement and fear. "It's something alive, something that's been waiting for this moment." But as Earth scientists focused on these new discoveries, they were unaware of the Draconian agents working in the shadows. Elder had successfully infiltrated the research facility and was feeding information back to the Draconian High Command. The more he learned, the more urgent the mission became. The Draconians had to stop Earth before the planet's hidden power grew too strong. Back on Draconian homeworld, the High Command was growing desperate. Elder's reports were clear. Earth was on the verge of awakening a power unlike any they had ever encountered. The once invincible fleet had vanished, but the Draconians were not ready to give up on their goal of conquering Earth. They knew they had to act quickly. "We cannot allow Earth to reach its full potential," one of the commanders said. "If they unlock the true power of their planet, they could become the greatest threat the galaxy has ever seen. We must act now, before it's too late." With the stakes higher than ever, the Draconians made a decision. They would send a more direct force to Earth, one that could disable the hidden energy source beneath the planet. But they knew it would not be easy. Earth's defenses were stronger than they had anticipated, and they had no idea how much the energy system had evolved. The tension between Earth and the Draconian Empire had reached its peak. While the Draconians worked in secret to understand the mysterious energy beneath the planet's surface, humanity had begun to embrace the full potential of the ancient technology. Dr. Claire Hawthorne and her team had uncovered many secrets, but they had also discovered something far more profound. The energy source was not just a tool, it was the key to Earth's survival. For weeks, the energy beneath Earth's crust had been growing stronger, as if it were preparing to awaken. It wasn't just a power source. It was a living, sentient force, capable of interacting with the environment, responding to external threats, and evolving to meet challenges. Earth's scientists had barely begun to scratch the surface of its capabilities, but they knew one thing for certain. If the Draconians returned, this energy would be the planet's greatest weapon. Dr. Hawthorne stood before the glowing core, watching as it pulsed with an otherworldly light. Her mind raced with possibilities. The technology was unlike anything humanity had ever seen, and yet she felt a sense of harmony with it, as if it had been waiting for Earth's inhabitants to discover its true power. It was a force that could elevate humanity to the stars, but it also had the potential to destroy anyone who dared threaten Earth. "It's alive," she whispered to herself. This isn't just energy. It's a force of nature, and it's ready to protect us. Meanwhile, on the other side of the galaxy, the Draconian High Command had made a fateful decision. After months of gathering intelligence, they were now preparing to launch a full-scale invasion of Earth. Their fleet, smaller but more focused, was ready to strike. They believed that if they could disable the energy beneath Earth's surface, they would have control of the planet. But they were unaware of just how much the ancient force had evolved. The Draconians' new plan was to deploy an elite team of specialists to infiltrate the research facility where Earth's scientists were working. Their mission was clear: to destroy the core and prevent the energy from being fully unlocked. They had underestimated Earth before, but this time, they were determined not to fail. As the Draconian fleet approached Earth's orbit, something unexpected happened. The energy beneath the surface began to respond. It wasn't just a reaction, it was a full awakening. The planet's core pulsed with intensity, and for the first time, Earth's true power became clear. The ground trembled, and the sky above shimmered with strange lights. The ancient force was ready. Back on Earth, Dr. Hawthorne and her team were startled by the sudden surge of energy. The system they had been studying began to glow brighter than ever before, sending out pulses of light that reached high into the sky. It was as if the Earth itself was coming to life. "We've unlocked it," Dr. Hawthorne said, her voice filled with awe and fear. "It's responding to something. Something is coming." As she spoke, alarms began to blare throughout the research facility. The Draconians had made their move. Their elite team of agents had infiltrated the facility and were making their way toward the core. But they had underestimated Earth's new energy source. The moment they got close, the energy began to interact with them, disarming their weapons and disabling their equipment. The Draconians were caught off guard, unable to comprehend what was happening. The energy system beneath Earth's surface was not just a defense mechanism. It was a guardian, an ancient entity that had been waiting for the moment to protect its home. The Draconians' intrusion triggered a powerful defense response. The ground beneath their feet began to shift, and walls of energy rose around them, trapping them in a force field. Dr. Hawthorne watched as the Draconians were contained by the energy field. It was clear now. Earth was not just protecting itself, it was sending a message. The message was clear: Earth would not be conquered. The Draconians were no longer the invaders. The planet's true power had awakened, and it was ready to defend itself. The Draconians, trapped within the energy field, realized the extent of their mistake. They had underestimated Earth's power, and now they were at its mercy. Their mission had failed. Earth had not only survived, they had evolved, and they were no longer the helpless, primitive planet the Draconians had once thought them to be. As the Draconians' fleet retreated from Earth's orbit, their commanders were forced to confront the reality of their defeat. The mysterious energy beneath Earth's surface was no longer a mystery. It was a force that could not be controlled or destroyed. It was a part of the planet itself, and it had awakened to defend its home. On Earth, the people celebrated their victory, but they knew that their journey was just beginning. The energy beneath the surface was a gift and a responsibility. It held the potential to change the course of humanity's future, but it also carried great danger. The Draconians had learned that Earth was not to be underestimated, and now the galaxy would know the same. Dr. Hawthorne stood before the glowing core, a sense of hope and determination filling her heart. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge and emerged victorious. The true potential of Earth had been revealed, and the galaxy would never look at the planet the same way again. Earth had awakened.